Hello everyone. I'm about to do an amazing interview with one of my dearest friends, Jes. Not only has she been teaching overseas for many years, but she is actually now just living in Vietnam. She absolutely loves it, and today I'm gonna hear a little bit more about it from her. Here we go. Hey, hello, Jesika. How are you today?
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thank you. So for everyone that doesn't know, you probably don't know, Jesika and I actually went to high school together. I've known her for a very long time. And she's actually in Vietnam, and she's been in Vietnam for quite a while now as a teacher, as a trainer. She develops content. She has a lot of hats that she's wearing at the moment. She's even a comedian over there. So she's really doing a lot of cool, interesting things. So today we get to speak a little bit about those things with you, Jes. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so Jes, how did you get into this field? Like, what made you decide to go and teach?
Funny story. I was living in Cape Town, and I had multiple jobs after university, and my hours were crazy, just working constantly. And I was really unhappy, and I heard from a group of my friends in university that they were moving to Vietnam, and they mentioned it to me, and they kind of invited me along. And I had never left South Africa, and I'd never taught anything before, and I'd never really had like a job like that. So I just, on a whim, mentioned it to my boss, and I was really lucky at the time that he sponsored my flights and my documents. And
Wow.
then within 3 weeks, I packed everything up and I moved to Vietnam. Yeah.
Hectic. That's so crazy. Wow. And
Yeah.
like how long ago was that?
That was in 2016. So I've been here for 4.5 years. Initially, I anticipated to be here for 3 months, and I ended up staying for 4.5 years.
So if you've stayed that long, then obviously it's pretty good, right? Or how do you
Yes,
feel about it?
love this summer. I've
Really?
really, I've definitely made myself comfortable. I've definitely nested, and there's a really great community here. I've made very good close friends. Um, there's a very good work culture in the jobs that I've had, and I've just always found a reason to stay every year.
That's amazing. And when you got there, was it a little bit like overwhelming for you, or because you had so many South Africans around, was it a little bit easier? How did you find it?
I think the best part, the thing that made it the easiest, was moving here with four of my friends, and none of us had jobs before we moved here. Um, we got our TEFLs and then immediately came here. Um, and we applied for jobs in our first week, and we all moved in together. We applied for so many things together. We went through the whole process together, and that made it a little bit easier just to, go through it with someone.
Yeah.
So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm so grateful that my friends offered me the opportunity.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but definitely very overwhelming, very different.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting the weather at all.
The weather, why?
Yes, it's extremely hot all the time. Uh, Except for now, it's winter, which is so strange as well. It gets very cold in the north of Vietnam, so we've been freezing for the last 2 months.
Oh no, shame. I can see you're wearing like your things. Obviously, here in South Africa, it's quite hot today. Hence.
Yeah, nice and bright.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. I'm really happy you got to go over with them and you had like such a positive experience from the beginning then. That's so cool. And like what happened in your first job? Did you get it quickly, or like was it easy to get?
At the time, the industry here was very different. Like now, I would say I mean, now it's also very different because of the COVID-19 situation. But initially, there was a lot of need for teachers, and there were a lot of places that were up and coming, and a lot of companies were really desperate for teachers. So we got jobs pretty quickly, and
Okay.
we all got jobs with this one company, and we all worked in centers with them. Um, and I stayed with that company for 4 years, which was great. I
That's
really like, I had so many different roles. I learned so much, so many trainings. And now I've started this new job that's definitely more difficult, but it's also really challenging in a really good way. And I love it so much. And I feel like I've just learned so much. And I really didn't think that I would love teaching as much as I do. I love it. It's my favorite job I've ever had.
that's amazing. It's good to be able to go to work every day and love what you do for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome. And now you're like a teacher trainer as well. And what else did you tell me before? Sorry.
I, with my old job, I was a teacher, I was a senior teacher, a mentor teacher, a trainer. I was a head teacher, so I ran a center for a while with them. And then I also did some like content development on the side. And now I'm a teacher and a trainer and still do some content development for this new company. So it's been really fun,
That's
really good.
amazing. I'm so, so proud of you, Jess.
Thanks.
Yay!
It's so nice to see you.
It's so nice to see you as well. I'm so, so happy. Um, and just like, what have you gained from all of this, from this experience?
Woo! It's been a real roller coaster.
Yeah.
Um, I would say like I've never grown up so fast. I've never
Okay.
experienced so much growth in a short amount of time. Um, I just it feels really good to constantly be learning. Like I've learned so much about conflict resolution and problem solving and learned a lot about like personal time management and personal like business management and how to improve myself as a person as well as like improve myself as an employer. I've been really lucky to work a lot in like character development.
Cool.
A lot of the programs that I've taught are character based, and we work on the principles of the 7 habits of highly effective people. So
That's cool.
yeah, very like alternative education, like future proofing,
Yes.
growth mindset.
That's
So that's been,
cool.
yeah, like as a, I guess as a, not a consequence. Consequence is not the right word, but as like a, I guess, yeah, as a consequence of this job, I've just learned so much about myself as well, and really, um, like, I'm very passionate about teaching. I love it, really. I love my students. I love working with so many other people from different countries. That's been really interesting. I've met so many people from countries, honestly, that some I hadn't heard of.
That's really funny. That's amazing. I love that. I love the forward thinking. I didn't actually think about that before, to be honest with you. So I'm quite surprised, but I'm genuinely so happy that schools and industries are going into that kind of mindset or towards that mindset because it's so necessary. We are changing so much as a society and as a world. So that's awesome. Very cool. Wow. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think that English teaching is like just teaching people how to speak English,
Yeah.
but it's a whole nother ball game. So I specialize in the younger students, so in lower elementary. So I'm also like teaching kids how to be human beings as well, because
Aw.
they're so young.
That's amazing. I love it. Oh, Jess, thank you so much for telling me. Very cool. Oh, Jess, and what are some like challenges that you've faced or you've seen other people face?
I've definitely, in terms of moving to a new country, I've seen a lot of people struggle with like getting the right documents processed and struggling with the whole process of like getting all their documents in and signing everything and doing the right timeline. Um, and also struggle with like a cultural barrier. That's a thing that I think a lot of people don't really think about before they move to
Yeah.
a different country. And then adjusting to life in a completely different culture.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, it can be really frustrating, but you have to just remain as open and flexible as possible just to, take it in and try and fit yourself into that realm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in terms of teaching, I usually see a lot of teachers struggle with student management with lower levels, and time management within lessons, like not being able to finish the content or not really knowing how to deliver content effectively. Um, and those two kind of go hand in hand. Like if you have a really challenging class that has a lot of student management issues, you might have a lot of time management issues because you're trying to manage everything at the same time. So
Yeah.
it definitely depends on what kind of class you have. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense for sure. How do you think we can overcome these challenges? Or what
I think
advice could you give?
if you are thinking of moving to another country to pursue a job, I would say be as prepared as possible. Do your research, take risks, and throw yourself in the deep end and learn as fast as you can, but be as prepared as possible. Like I was not prepared. I was luckily prepared enough, but I had a lot of people supporting me, and like
Yeah.
I feel like my community really like brought me up in this
Oh,
way. But I would say do the research, talk to people who do it.
yeah.
If you have any anxiety about what it will be like, talk to people who are there, talk
Yeah.
to anyone who has experience, and Google everything. There's so many resources online that you can use. So many teachers' resources, so many like blogs and articles about living in different countries. So I would say just be as prepared as possible. Like get all your documents in check. Um, and then in terms of teaching, there's so many different techniques that you could use. Um, but I would say routine and consistency are key. Don't try anything one time. You have to try it at least 3 times to see if the students respond to you.
Yeah.
If you're having trouble with defiant students, try not to overreact. Try to be objective, overreactionary. Try not to take anything students say personally. Um, try to also talk to people about it. Look for the resources. Look for different techniques that work for you. Make it work for you and find your teaching style and find how you can like work the most effectively and communicate as much as possible as well. Like communicate with your managers, communicate with your students, ask a lot of questions. Don't be scared to sound dumb. Just ask, ask, ask.
That's
Um,
amazing.
yeah.
Okay, so that's a really good that's a really good point to take. Don't be scared to sound dumb or feel dumb. I think that's something that a lot of people do fear though. Um,
Mm,
even with online teaching, I think like acting silly and stupid, people are really scared of like being something other than just like normal and fitting into a box kind of thing. But
yeah.
yeah, so that's really awesome. Thank you, Jess, for your advice and ways to overcome things. I do agree with you. I think being as prepared as possible is definitely something really important. And Jess, is there anything else that you like would want to add or any advice that you would want to give anybody?
Um, I would say go for it. Go for it. If you're thinking of teaching, if you're thinking of teaching online or teaching in person, and you have the opportunity, I would say, try your best and take the risk and see what happens. But also be committed. I would say being committed is a big thing. Like, I see a lot of teachers come here and not take it seriously because they don't think that it's a serious job. And I think they don't realize that you're like taking advantage of other people, and it's not good for the students. Like, obviously you want to give the students the best opportunity for them to grow and learn and to have a good time in your class. So I would say also, like, be prepared, be flexible, try and build as much rapport with your students, try and build rapport with your coworkers. Working with so many different types of people from different cultures, different countries can be really challenging. And I think you just have to try and understand and try and see it from their point of view. So I think, that's my advice. Go for it.
Yes. Oh, Jess, that's amazing advice. Thank you so much. Oh, I miss you so much.
I miss you too. This is so nice.
It's so nice to see you and talk to you. And the last question I have for you, my love, is if you had to describe teaching or your experience in 3 words, which ones would you use?
Okay, I thought about this one. I would say in the beginning, I actually wrote it down. I need to look at my notes. In the beginning, when I first got here, my experience was challenging, eye-opening, and experiential.
Okay.
Fully immersed in a new environment. And now the 3 words that I try and live by with my teaching career is passion, perseverance, and performance.
Yes, I love it. Oh, speaking of performance, do you want to share with everybody, or not really, about the extra things that you do when you're not teaching? Yeah. Okay.
I've been really lucky. I've always wanted to be a stand-up comedian for a very long time, and I started stand-up in Cape Town in 2016. And I studied theatre and I studied fine arts, so it seemed like, the perfect kind of performance that I would want to be in. And when I came here, I thought that I would have to give it up and like not be able to do it. But because my hours are different, I don't work a 9 to 5 and I don't work in the daytime. I work mostly afternoons and nighttime. I get to perform as much as I want, and I run. Sometimes I run my own comedy shows here. I host comedy shows sometimes. It's been very quiet during the COVID era.
Yeah.
But we've been really lucky when we came out of lockdown last year. I was very lucky to compete in the national comedy competition.
Wow.
There's a number of comedians here also from many different countries, so it's really interesting to perform with them and get to know them very well, and there's a nice little community. So on the side, I get to live my dreams pretty much.
That's amazing. Oh, I love it. So you're living your dreams and you also have a job that you love. You have a really supportive community. I'm really, really happy for you. Like, I'm genuinely, my heart is so happy that you ended up in this place where you're so happy, because I love you so much. I do.
Yes, and I love you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Jess, so much for talking to us today. I love you. I miss you.
I love you. I miss you too.
Okay, we don't have to make it end. Okay, I'm gonna say bye for my video part, but then after that we can chat. Okay. So bye everybody.